Okay, so this is a set I played with a guy from the Street Fighter Discord after I said I didn't know what to do with Honda, and he happened to have a Super Diamond Honda. So at this point I was still in Ultra Gold. I've since dropped back to Super because I'm inconsistent. Right, so let's have a look. So I'm trying to be fairly solid here. As you can see, I'm struggling to find ways to punish, mostly because those I can't distinguish between light and medium for those headbutts. Yeah, and I'm not used to his strings either. Oh, I should have committed to the interruption there. That's going to be a bit of a theme. I do interruptions, I get counter hits, and then I don't convert off them, or I convert off them only when I'm sort of able to do like a EX. Ah, dang it. Yeah, got to be ready for that. Oh, rough. But I won't convert off them unless it's like an EX fireball or something, because I just autopilot that. So it's probably a good idea to start thinking about, if I'm going to interrupt, what am I interrupting with? And then sort of setting up a button that confirms instead of anything. This is, I think, where I asked him whether the EX butt slam was plus or minus, and he said it was -2 on the back and +5 in the front. And then we ended up talking about some other stuff, so I'll just skip through that. So I am varying up my wake-up options. I wake up sometimes quick, sometimes back rise, but I'm mostly just trying to find sort of a pattern to use, sort of like getting a feel for his. This was nonsense. I don't know why I did that. I just did that because I was mucking about. Yeah, I have trouble with that as well. I have trouble being serious and maintaining a level of seriousness. That was supposed to be a light kick into light punch shoulder with then, you know, continued pressure, but as you can see, some of the execution let me down there. There we go. Alright, so just a background, I did an FT5 with him to start with. So we did a first to 5, but there was a lot of stuff in there where I would just be like, well, try this and I'll see if I can find a solution for it. So this is really the set where I'm supposed to be applying what I've learned. I think I'm keeping better spacing, so the space is definitely different. That wasn't confirmed, but well, it's one of those where I choose to I choose not to take the knockdown, but then I don't really have anything set up that's mad ambiguous, and that's really the thing that makes Laura work, right, is the ambiguous stuff. That wasn't a bad string. What's this? Bit of corner pressure. Yeah, and he V reversals, he panic reversals out a lot. Basically, the moment things get a bit heated, he V reversals, and I use a lot of medium kick, and medium kick can be V reversal pretty much consistently. Like, you don't even have to do it on an early frame or anything. You can just V reversal at any time in the 4 active frames that it has. I think it's 4. Yeah, I think so. And it'll work. Like, as in, I won't be able to, like, I can't bait it with it. I do try to bait later in the set, I think, but at this point I'm still kind of feeling out how his defensive options work. I really need to stop using the overhead. It's nice to use in a long set, but in a shorter set, or if I'm trying to play seriously, I really shouldn't be using it, unless I'm in V-Trigger. And then in V-Trigger I should be following it up with, you know, because you can confirm that into actual stuff. I'm pressuring him a bit there. He does a bad back throw, which resets us to neutral-ish, kind of. I'm doing a lot of walking back, which is what's gets me caught on like the low. I think that's the light kick. I don't know if it's the medium kick. Probably not. I think it's the light kick. So the back walking is getting me caught a lot. I tend to do that against new matchups just to see if I can make them use their low, because usually, especially against command grapplers or grab heavy characters, if they have to do a low, they can't then also grab you immediately after if they counter hit. It's something that I struggle with. So like my crouch light kick, for example, or even my any button really after dash up. If I dash up and I get a counter hit on a button from like a back dash or them putting a button out, if I go into command grab, which, you know, if I'm trying to do like light kick into command grab, I don't have time to confirm it. For me anyway. You know, it'll whiff basically, and I get this a lot because I'm constantly, Laura's always guessing between this was a bad one, that should have been forward well, that should have been forward V trigger, but it looks like I missed a V trigger cancel. Yeah, so I walk back a lot to see if that will happen, but he's just, Honda's reach on the low into the light punch, crouch light punch, is big enough that he can catch me walking back and then basically just get hands, and then he's like sort of back in again almost, or he gets this nonsense. Yeah. I think he can only cancel into thingy. Well, that's a bad habit as well. I need to stop doing those fireballs. That light kick should have been confirmed into light punch shoulder really. But he is not happy about this. I'm interrupting him a lot. I'm stopping him. And this is, this was a round where he started sitting there. He didn't say anything, and because we were on Discord at the same time, so we were chatting in Discord. We weren't on voice, and he just stopped moving. So I have the life lead, which means there's no reason for me to move. So I stopped moving as well to see what he would do. My hand got sweaty, so I had to stand up for a second. And yeah, he's just testing patience here to see what happens. I think he's a bit annoyed with how I play my Laura, because I'm actually not entirely sure what I do to make people annoyed, but it seems to happen quite a bit. I get this kind of stuff sometimes in games where they just go, I don't know, maybe I make people feel like they can't press anything. I don't know. But when we get to about, I think 15 seconds left, he's gonna do a jump, and I wasn't ready for anything because my whole like readiness had dropped at this point, because we've been sitting there for like 50 seconds, or like nearly a minute. And so there we go, 10 seconds. He does that. I do. See, that was a terrible string, and I V reversal trying to waste some time. I just block it out, and time over, I win. Yeah, bit of a weird round, but it's always fun to have a go with stuff like that against people that are obviously better, you know, because his Honda is definitely better than my Laura. There's a lot of options I'm not really exercising. Ooh, okay. And now, so when he activates, I'm now telling myself, right, look for the command grab, like the bit. Oh, yeah, that is annoying. The fireball, I'm doing the wrong fireball after, there we go. That wasn't a good punish, I should have neutral jumped. I'm using the wrong fireball on my my heavy punch. So my heavy punch should have the, what is it, the heavy punch and medium punch EX in it, and instead it's the, so I did a jab there. That works sometimes, as in I can anti-air with jab sometimes, especially if people neutral jump. Kens do this all the time. They do the neutral jump. I think they have like a safe jump into like a low. They love doing that, especially as like a last round closer thing. And then when I jab, they basically air reset. See, now he's starting to neutral jump. But I can't really make use of that very much. I woke up medium kick there because I figured he would jump, and usually that catches up jumps. It's still a stupid option. I shouldn't have done that, but there we go. Interrupting, and done. Cool. He is very dashy. This guy, it's interesting actually, because he doesn't. He's obviously Honda's a charge character, and he has to charge down and back, just like Guile and Bison and that. But like, there's no reason for him not to walk, because his neutral tools are strong, safe, they're specials, you know, his hands, for example, catch jumps, they'll catch any button you press because specials win out over everything about other specials. This was actually those butt slams he did there. Those were because I told him you should use butt slam more because I have no way to punish it or interrupt it or anything. Yeah. These fireballs are terrible. They should be confirmed. I should be confirming into fireballs specifically when I have V-trigger or against full framers because there's 0 on hit. So horrible. So that's like job number 1 in terms of improving my play. We're not getting us punished. He's not punishing them very much. They can be hard to punish because it is so when the fireball comes out, I mean, you're not interrupting that, right? So you're sitting there, the fireball comes out, and then there's 2 options. Either it's sitting in front of you because I used a light one, or I used a medium or heavy, and, you know, it's now -5 or something, but only if it hits, like, the whole way through. And with the medium, for example, you can sometimes get these weird scenarios where it's like, it's actually -1 or something instead of -5. Yeah, either way, on hit, then -0. So really, you kind of want to take it if she doesn't have V-trigger, because then you're 0, and if you have a 3-frame, you can just trade and you're fine. Because she can't move or anything, she's 0. So. Yeah. The overhead trade there, I could have converted off. If Laura trades her overhead, you can usually she can light kick, I think, or crouch medium punch even, and confirm from there. This is on most scenarios. So if you have a Laura who's really like overhead heavy, try to block it. Don't try to contest it, because if you contest it, you're either going to get if you use an air move. Oh, is this dead? I think this might be. Yeah, there we go. So I'm waiting for it, and I'm still getting hit by it, and I'm kind of kicking myself, going, right, I should be better at that. But yeah, if Alora does a lot of overhead cancels, she should be getting punished on the blocked, which is -6 even in V-trigger. So there are very particular scenarios she can engineer to get it to be not as minus, but I've not found any that are plus. And you know, trading with it usually means that you're if you trade with it in the air, see, again, wrong fireball, can't do anything with that. If you trade with it, she's either getting that nonsense because you did a special or you did an air move that has active frames and it beats it, or it's on the floor, and if it trades, then she gets to follow up with light kick into whatever, or crouch medium punch into whatever. Alright, so I've actually lasted out his V-trigger, I think, has he? Yeah, because he triggered earlier in the set. I'm looking for a way to activate. Yeah, and I jumped because I was expecting his thing. And I, again, like, so I've been hit by the command grab from V-trigger a few times now. So I am waiting for it, but that wasn't a reaction. That was just me pressing a thing. He does tend to be in range very much when he has his hands. So it feels like he's in range to just do a micro walk grab as well. So I was hoping to jump out of either of his grabs. Right, I think he suddenly didn't move, and then, yeah, there we go. So I think he might have had a drink or something. Oh, we were doing testing on the butt slam. Because I told him that the only way for Laura to, like, punish that move, or to deal with it properly, and be in range to do stuff, is to walk into it, basically, and make it hit on the other side, so it's the -2 instead of the plus whatever. In front, it's not plus either. It's supposed to be like plus, or it's supposed to be like -6 or something, but nothing reaches, so it doesn't matter. Right, and we're back into it. I mean, he does block a lot, and I do try to make use of his blocking a lot by giving him grabs and that, but this is one of the things I'm struggling with at the moment, is that it takes quite a few grabs to kill someone. And there we go. I was trying to grab that, but it didn't work. This is a bit cheeky. See, again with the V-triggers, V-reversals all the time. I really should have been making him V-reversal way more so he could never have trigger. Yeah. And now, raw overhead. Which, Yeah, shouldn't do, but I had a feeling that he wasn't really looking for it and he wasn't really going to do anything about it. He'd been hit by a few overheads in the set so far. So, yeah, I think he was very focused on a dash rather than anything else. Yeah, so look, the walk back is working. He's not catching me on the crouch stuff as much. That's I think that's +3, you know, that nonsense. But yeah, I'm finding that he's not really pressing buttons enough for me to counter hit him, and all of Laura's like big lady damage is behind counter hits. So I'm finding that oftentimes I have to throw him, and pressuring him on wake up is hard because that EX Bud Slam, EX Bud Slam and EX Headbutt have armor on it that's pretty early. Oh, yeah. I feel like if he had started backdashing, it would have been better off, but he doesn't do a lot of backdashing. Instead, he's doing a lot of, again with that fireball, just doing nothing. And now he's letting me like charge fireballs on the other end of the screen and that, and that's a confirm. Again with the raw overhead, I'm just trying to see if he's going to do something about it, because if he's not, then in V-trigger I can confirm it, which is great. Right, so I don't know what the score is now, but it ends up being, I don't know, I don't even know. But yeah, there we go. So at this point, I've definitely won by gimmick a few times, and I think we're having a quick chat here as well in Discord about some stuff. So I've won a few times by gimmicks. And I'm trying to be solid, but a lot of what he does ends up sort of being really annoying, because you can't really do anything about the headbutts. Like the headbutts just kind of happen, and you know, hands, you can't do anything about hands. That's just going to happen. You know, I'm really not good enough to be confirming whether he's doing the heavy or the medium hands. I just see hands and I go, all right, well, just, you know, back off. Basically, use the space it gives you to reset. Right. Oof. There we go. So I was expecting him to do a command grab. I wasn't expecting him to do the V-trigger one. Ooh, he doesn't punish that. That's just barely out of range, so yeah. Saw that coming a mile away. That was a bad option for him, actually, because he was doing a command grab basically from mid-screen. And I'd already proven that I'm kind of okay at reacting to things. This was nice, I think. Yeah, there we go. I'm not using my defensive options correctly. Ooh, yeah. And after this, I told him, like, I don't think there's an air normal that beats that, but he said, well, most air normals do. You just have to, like, do it early so that the active frames come out. So I reckon, like, a medium punch would have worked, or I think I tried to press medium kick, maybe, which wouldn't have been a good option anyway. He is doing a lot of jumps that are really easily anti-aired, which is, yeah. But I'm kind of finding my range. I just need to tighten up a lot of, like, string stuff, which after this set, I watched this set a few times. After this set, I did end up doing that in a bunch of the games I played. It's worth knowing that the stand heavy punch, when it hits normal, can be confirmed in most cases from into a light kick. It's +4, so when I press heavy punch, I really need to be ready to either take the crush counter or do the confirm, or just, you know, EX fireball and then the correct EX fireball into, you know, crouch medium punch, and then a knockdown, or, you know, another fireball into V-trigger or something. Yeah, so I think later on in this set, so we're now sort of in the latter half of the set, right? See that? Fireball into me jabbing. He's not aware that he can punish the fireballs massively. Like, it's -5 at least, I think. And it can be -7, depending on circumstances. Yeah, I'm trying to do... What am I trying to do? Oh, right, I was trying to experiment with different spacing. And seeing if I could control his spacing somewhat. Right, that's -6, by the way. If Laura does does the target combo of medium punch into medium kick, I did this for the second time now, and I bet it's upsetting to him. Again with the follow up, and he reversals it again. I was looking at my health bar here, watching the health go back, and I do a dash into. I've basically figured out, and I didn't really think about this like intellectually, but more as on a feeling basis. Like, the feeling was this guy doesn't react, and so he can't react very well, which means I should do stuff that is hard to react to, such as dash grab, dash whatever. The thing is, when he's got a lot of health, right, he understands the economy of being able to trade your life for like bad reactions. But obviously when you start dying, or when you're low health, yeah, you can't do that anymore. So he's quite good at like using risk when he has a bit of a pot to work with. He also doesn't anti-air, what's it called? Ooh. He doesn't anti-air headbutt, which is like Honda's biggest asset. That was a bad confirm. I should have gone into something there. Oh, here comes the V-trigger. Into hands, oh, and grabbing and dead. Oh, yeah. The EX Bud Slam, that's probably one of the hardest moves to deal with. I tried in the lab trying to, like, between the first hits and the up thing, if you block the first hits as Laura, there's nothing you can do after. Like, I was hoping that it would be a thing of, like, if you block the first and you're quick enough, like reversal timing for a HP bolt or something, that you'd catch the top bit, but no, you don't. Yeah, lots of like stealing turns now, lots of like... Yeah, he's doing more Bud Slams, which are working out. And this is +5, right? And there's the hands catching the jump, right? So the hands are great. Like, I found out that, at least when I was thinking about Street Fighter 5 recently, one of the things that makes a lot of the top tier characters the most powerful is simply that they... a lot of their moves have like additional properties. Maybe not even properties that are like explicit, but ones that are... Alright. I mean, those are good interruptions. He was doing a lot of the same stuff looping, and I found the gaps, but yeah. I found that like a lot of the top tier characters have moves that basically cover 2 or 3 scenarios. So they don't just do one thing. They don't just do like, oh, well, this is forward pressure. So like hands on E Honda, right? If someone's trying to jump out, they'll get hit by it. If someone's trying to backdash, they'll probably get hit by it. If someone's trying to contest, they'll get hit by it. It's one of them where it covers quite a lot of ground, and its active space is quite significant. That should have been a counter hit confirm. And I have been working on those in the lab. I've just not been able to do them in the in-game yet. Yeah. So I'm trying to like maintain space a bit more. You'll notice that I'm actually not teching at all, and that's intentional. I'm not teching because, I don't know, lately teching has gotten me into so much trouble. I've lost so many games because of teching. You know, and I shouldn't be doing it against people that aren't showing me the option, or people that aren't able to use the option effectively. You know, you find a lot of people do grabs, but then, you know, it's not leading to pressure, or it's not leading to anything that is specifically scary. Again, these are autopiloted things. If I can get to the point where I can do crouch medium kick confirmed on crouch medium punch confirmed, I mean, I think my Laura will be super scary. So that was a confirmed, and that was, see, that's the first time I've baited his thing. And then I proceed to completely give up my turn by doing a command grab on a wake up. That is not good. Right. That was nonsense. That shouldn't have happened. Shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have got hit by that. The whole thing was just a mess. And there's the overhead finish again. And that was mostly, I did that mostly because I figured he was going to do something stupid. And if you air hit me, he was going to do something, right? He was either going to hit a button or he was going to do EX stuff again. There we go. That's just me going, well, you're not doing anything now. You're just sitting there blocking, so I'm going to grab you. Unfortunately, Laura's command grab doesn't give her anything after. Like, she can't really do a whole lot after, so yeah. It's not a great option. Basically, my Laura, at least the way I play her, I don't want to command grab you. Command grabbing you is one of the worst options. Because it doesn't give me nice Oki. You know, I'm plus 14 or something. My dash is like, yeah, it leaves me -2, it leaves me -3 or -4. Just doing that. So, yeah, not a good time. So I was +2 there after the hit of the overhead. And I've seen some people do the thing where they hit, and on hit they do the command grab, because you can confirm that. That was in the knife combo, actually. I like the one that ends in the smash. But if you hit with the overhead, that's basically a +2. So that's the same as hitting with a light punch shoulder. So, yeah. I think at this point, by the way, we're 4-4. We might be 4-4. I think so. So he's basically, I think he's won the last 3 games in a row. So I went 1 and then I think we went 1-1 and then I pulled ahead to 4. Then he figured out a whole bunch of stuff that was hard for me to deal with. And I proceeded to basically get battered for about 3 games in a row. Not like 6 rounds, but yeah, as you can see, like 3 games in a row I just lost because he started exercising his options better. Because yeah, I mean, there isn't a whole lot to be punished from Laura. She just, even the stuff that's punishable on paper, it can't be reached. And I just did jumps here to see what he would do. That was a bait with no, I baited that, and then I was like, I don't even know what to do here. Like, I wasn't ready to actually do anything about it. That was a risk that I shouldn't have had to and I did, again, like a fireball with no intent behind it. Just, I'm just going to throw a fireball. And again with this is the 3rd time I've done this in this set now. And I just, yeah, I mean, I know he's not reacting to it. I just need to find the spacing and make sure that I'm not whiffing it. Yeah. I also knew that he'd walked back there, I think. I think he walked forward a bit, so he lost his charge. So he wasn't charging down and he wasn't charging back, so, you know, he wasn't going to be able to do a special there other than hands, and he would have had to be well ready for that. So that was a counter hit. So I think that normally whiffs. Oh, so many counter hits I'm not confirming, dude. Jeez. Okay, so that's an okay one. I noticed that he was very, like, active, and he was very, yeah, that's happened several times in a match, by the way. That looks like something that's rare. It's not. Like, I've gotten caught out by that a few times now. I do so many things in these games where I know what to do. So I know, okay, well, you know, he's going to walk forward, he's not going to have the timing down, so I'm going to jab, right? I get the jab, and then there's nothing to follow up. I just go jab, jab. Well, I've interrupted you now. Done and done. Not good. It's not good. Right. EX Bud Slam is kicking my ass. I think that was a light one. I could have punished that with crouch medium kick. I think the light one is just like closer by or something. I don't know. I did this in the lab a while back, and I just, like a few days ago, and I have no idea, man. He is not using any anti-airs, but I don't want to start giving him the option to start doing it. That was a punish, I think, the EX blocked EX headbutt, but I wasn't ready for it at all. He was just sitting still, seeing what would happen. And now I'm going, well, let's see how much of a turtle you actually are. That was supposed to be a V-trigger cancel, and it didn't. I didn't even have it ready. the light kick into medium kick as well. I should only be doing that against opponents that... Okay, that's another bait. I baited that intentionally there. Yep, there we go. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot there that I just need to improve. I mean, I think the big things are... First of all, stop using medium kick so much. Like, it doesn't lead into much, and unless you're doing it deep, you can't confirm it because it's too far out, right? Even if it's -4 or +4. I need to work on my strings. Like, I need to have intent behind them more. I think when I play against people like who are significantly worse than me, right? So we're talking about like people who are like just gold. Those people tend to be much more mashy, and they tend to be much more buttonsy, which means that I get more counter hits. So I kind of settle into a pattern there of like, okay, well, I'm just going to set up for counter hit strings. When people start blocking, I sort of lose all that, and I end up sort of just pressing buttons. And so you get a lot of like light kick into nothing because I wasn't ready, or light kick, medium kick. And it's like, well, that's okay if you're like baiting a medium counter hit, so you can go into crouch medium punch shoulder or whatever. But it's not great if you're not actually ready for any of that. So I need to work on that. Fireballs, normal fireballs in people's faces at -5 need to go, my dude. I'm just coasting by on the fact that people aren't ready to punish them, or the timing is a bit weird, or sometimes they float instead of like hitting you. I'm coasting by on that. But that's not sustainable, so that needs to go. And I think that that works together with the strings thing. If I fix my strings, the fireballs won't happen anymore. They just won't. You know, I'll start using them as a neutral tool, as I already do, and I'll have them as a sort of go-to for activations. But I won't be mucking about with them as the way I do now. Yeah. And I think that'll open up a lot of mental space as well, because I won't be as freaked out. I'll just be like, well, so I've dashed up, I'm doing a light kick into crouch medium punch, and you know, oh, it didn't hit. Cool, we'll go into crouch medium kick into fireball, and then you know that's the worst. The worst that can happen there is they trade with the fireball or something, and that's it. So I think there's a lot to be done there in terms of just cleaning up my strings. I should probably just write down a few and stick to them instead of trying to be specific about the scenario, specific about the situation. Just say, well, I'm going to do these 3 or these 4. And, you know, because a lot of Laura strings are like 3-way or 4-way. So it's like on hit, do this, on counter hit, do this, and on block, do this. And I'm having trouble mentally processing that. But if I just reduce my size of stuff that I do to like 2 or 3 strings every time, then I can work on just making them more variable by stopping midway and doing shimmies, or you know, mixing it up with EX or EX Fireball and everything. I think we can just do that and then look at the more fancy stuff and the more specific stuff later. One thing I do also want to sort of keep going to, and I didn't do it in this set at all, is HP Bolt. This guy didn't jump much. You know, his air movement was largely just the butt slam special, which is not really HP boltable. I tried in the lab for about 20 minutes, I think, and I tried it from different distances, different strengths, different like starting points and all that. Overall, the HP bolt just loses to it, like generally, unless he's doing it from a stupid range. Like if he's doing the one from all the way on the other side of the screen and he's doing the heavy one, there's no way you can kind of get the hitbox to line up. And his butt slam goes higher than HP Bolt does. HP Bolt stops about 3/4 of the way up, and the hitbox does as well. The hitbox does not go much further above Laura, because it's like a little Tetris, like one of the long Tetris blocks. That's kind of the hitbox for it in front of her. So yeah, it's great against things like Demon. It's great against things like Kage's, dive kick. But against butt slam, it is terrible. So I think I'm going to start working on those things a bit. And then maybe I'll catch another set with this guy, or I'll play against this Guile that I've been playing on my side. He's really hard to deal with, but he jumps a bit more. Like he does a bit of like blah blah into jump, and I think that might be good. But yeah, it's mostly Guile that gives me issues, and Honda and Bison. You know, the charge characters who've basically got a lot of forward moving specials that are safe. In the case of Gal, projectiles, you know, and his V skill. Because yeah, if he throws his V skill, you just kind of have to hold that if you're Laura. Kind of sucks. Yeah. All right, cool. I'll try to find another set of matches to look at, and then I'll record those as well. I'll have a chat through them.